Thank you, councillors. Welcome to the October meeting of council tonight. Just a reminder that this council meeting is recorded and it will be live streamed and available to the public online. So I'll start with our acknowledgement of country. The Central Coast Council acknowledges and pays respect to the traditional owners of Lutruwita, Tasmania, the Palawapakana people. We acknowledge the Punalapana tribe of this northern country, and in doing so, we celebrate one of the world's oldest continuing cultures. And our statement of values, guided by the diverse beliefs, experiences and backgrounds of the people we represent, we strive to make inspired and respectful decisions today that will build a better tomorrow. No apologies for this evening, we're all here, which is fabulous. So I will move to item 1.1, which is the confirmation of minutes from the previous meeting on the 18th of September. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution? Thank you, Councillor Viney. Seconded. Councillor Heskett. Any discussion? No, there being none, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye. Aye. Against? The motion is carried. 2.1 is council workshops. A list there of the workshops that we have done since we were last formally together. Would a councillor care to move that resolution? Thank you, Councillor Lehman. Seconded, Councillor Wiley. Any discussion? No, there being none, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye. Aye. Against? The motion is carried. Item 3.1 is Mayor's Communications, and this is when I get to tell you about how fabulous was the Health and Wellbeing Expo last week by the Rotary Club of Ulverstone West. Over 20 exhibitors down at the Noman Pavilion and the buildings surrounding that, coffee van outside, and lots of people. So a fabulous expo, and there were lots of people that came down. Coast FM did an outside broadcast from there, which was fabulous because that resulted in people that wouldn't normally have heard about it coming down. So that was great. Followed on the Saturday night by the Beyond Blue dinner, also well hosted by Island State Brewing. They did a fabulous job. Over 200 of us there that night. Those of you that were there, I'm sure you'll agree, was a great night. It was the 15th year of the Beyond Blue dinner, and I just want to acknowledge the work of the Rotary Club of Ulverstone West, and in particular Lindsay Morgan, and show you that I got presented with an Ulverstone Football Club Beyond Blue jersey. I'm not sure if that means I'm automatically in the team. Councillor Carpenter might have to give me some tips. But we appreciate their work, and we will continue to support that event and those causes as we can. So yeah, it was a great night, and particularly the leadership shown by the players of the Ulverstone Football Club that were there in some numbers, and who want to be seen and are being seen as real community leaders in the area of mental health. You know, supporting each other. So well done to them. I just want to share that with you. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, but we'll find somewhere to put it so that everyone can see it. Thank you for humouring me there. Item 3.2 is the Mayor's Diary. I do just want to remove from, well, just note that the Ulverstone Football Club annual dinner, despite how fabulous they are, I was not there due to illness, and I was sad to miss it, but I think Councillor Carpenter was there with his other hat on, and I'm sure that it was a good night, Gary. It was. Thank you. And some other notes there from other councillors that have represented council at different functions in the last month. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item? Thank you, Councillor Heskett. Seconded, Councillor Diprose. Any discussion on those items?
Mayor, if I may,
please.
At the Ulverstone Footy Club annual dinner, I was there under a different role, of course, but chairperson spoke extremely positive and wanted to make sure I pass on the thanks to council and ground staff. He said it's been an incredible year, the way the ground staff and the people of council, the workforce, react with the footy club. And to your guys, Paul and Darryl, whoever else, please pass on their thanks for that, and look forward to the continued work and support.
Right. Thank you for sharing that, and what great feedback from them, so we appreciate that. Anything else? Yes, Councillor Heskett.
Thank you, Mayor. May I just ask how the citizenship ceremony went and how many new citizens?
We had 6 new citizens, or did we have 6 families? We had 6 families and 8.
8 actually.
Yeah, two sets of parents and children. It was lovely, and always that bit more special when Senator Urquhart is able to join us. So when she's not sitting or she's free, she joins us to read the letter from the minister, which always adds a nice air of formality to it. But no, just great. They got presented with wattles. They get presented with wattles each time now, and a diverse group of people, everything from a gentleman from the United States who had already lived here for 40 years to people that have arrived only recently. So I should we should make a note. We often hold them the last Friday of the month. Sometimes there's 2 months in between. From here on in, for the rest of the year, anyone that becomes eligible will be asked if they want to take their oath on the 26th of January. And if not, we'll have a small gathering between now and then. But it is always on a Friday, and we do normally try and make it the last one of the month if we can. So anytime you're free or you want to know what the schedule of dates are, you're more than welcome to join us. But it's always such a lovely occasion. A privilege. No, thank you for the question. Any other questions or discussion? Councillor Wiley.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I will take the opportunity to mention, as I have done in the report, that Councillor Lehman and myself had the honour of opening the High Vis exhibition, which was a combination of the secondary schools in the Central Coast, of the artwork that they've done, and just the level of quality of the artwork was really amazing to see, and we should be really proud of the next generation of creatives that are coming through in the Central Coast, and for them to have the platform of the Hive to be able to exhibit their work is something that's truly special, and something that I think that our generation perhaps didn't have that benefit. So it was wonderful to see.
Thank you, and thank you so much for the two of you to do it. It was a tag team official opening, so I hope you enjoyed that aspect of it as well. Isn't it a privilege to be able to share those occasions with our community? So thank you so much. Any further conversation? No, there being none, would a councillor care to? Oh, we had a mover and a seconder, did I not? Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 3.3 is declarations of interest. Does any councillor have an interest to declare in any matter on this agenda? No, there's none. 4.1 is councillor reports. Councillors who are appointed by the council to community and other organisations are invited at this time to speak about those activities. Does anybody wish to report? You've got simultaneous hands. Ladies first. Thank you, Councillor De Casey.
I attended the Youth Leaders Council last month, and where there was a debrief for an event that they put on down at the Sound Shell called Smiles of the Shell, and that was on the 22nd of September. And that was a fundraiser, an event that they wanted to put on to raise money for Headspace. So Headspace was there also, and they had some fabulous performers, Lasker Dry being one of them, Bernie Band, one of the students was in that, and a few others. But it was a great night. They'd also had sourced out their own food vans and everything as well. So the whole process of what they had to go through was really learning. And so in the debrief, the highlights were the run sheet and the format, the performers that they had chosen, the MCs that they chose, and the food vendors were happy with the night. And then there was some learnings looking at reviewing a targeted audience, maybe having it more family focused to get more people along, and consider other events in the region when selecting a date. So we had the Colts had their grand final on the Saturday, so that prevented a lot of the young ones that were playing football on the Saturday to come along to that on the Friday night. Yeah, but they'll look at something that they want to continue and look at different dates and come up with different things to keep themselves active as far as helping within the youth in our community and giving them something else to do. And then along with that, there was a youth voice survey which was done. I won't speak too much on that, but it was a wonderful surprise. 371 students responded to the survey, and that's pretty good for adults in this in our municipality, let alone students. So that was really good. So there'll be lots of good stuff that come out of that we can learn from and see what we can do. So a great group of people, and absolute pleasure to be part of that committee. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Councillor Hiskett.
Thank you, Mayor. To add on to the survey results, the infographic they put together for that was really, stood out and had a lot of interesting data. So, just reporting, the Slipstream Circus completed their performance tangent, which was overall a success. Managed to get along to one of the nights myself, and it was an absolute cracker of a show. So just same comments that Councillor Diprose has made. We just have an amazing bunch of youth within this community. So just wanted to pass on that, and they'll be looking forward to what they do next year.
Fabulous. Our congratulations to them for another successful season. That's great. Well done. Anything else? No, that's fine. We will move on then to item 5.1, which is leave of absence. There are no applications for consideration at this meeting. 6.1 is deputations. No requests for deputations to address the meeting or make statements or deliver reports have been made. 7.1 is petitions. No petitions under the provisions of the Local Government Act have been presented. 8.1 is councillors' questions without notice. Should you have any questions going around the table, Councillor Lehmann. None. Councillor Carpenter.
No, thanks, Mayor.
Councillor Wiley.
Yes, please, one for the Director of Infrastructure Services.
Thank you. Councillor Smith.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Diprose.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Hiskett.
Yes, thank you. One for Director of Community Services.
Thank you. Councillor Varney
No, thank you, Mayor.
and Councillor Beswick.
No, thanks, Mayor.
And none for myself. Uh, 8.2 is councillors' questions on notice, and no questions on notice have been received. 9.1 is public question time. So at a time between agenda items, or as close to 6:40 as possible, the council will allow 30 minutes for public question time. And if you're intending to ask a question, please note the following procedures, which have probably been provided to you in relation to the maximum amount of questions asked, and an information sheet has been provided by those in the public gallery should they wish to do so. 2 questions have been received later for the General Manager, and he will provide responses at close to 6:40. 9.2 is public questions taken on notice, and no public questions were taken on notice from the 18th of September meeting. That takes us to General Management and item 10.1. The minutes and notes of committees of the council and other organisations. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item? Thank you, Councillor Diprose. Seconded, Councillor Beswick. Councillor Diprose, I feel like you've just spoken to that item, but anything further to add?
No, other than just that, it's so, I'm sure everyone feels the same. It's an absolute privilege to be involved in any of these community organisations, and to be able to participate and help them along. Yeah, it's a really great thing. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you. Any other speakers to those notes? No? Fabulous. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10.2 is the quarterly report annual plan. And you have been provided there with our performance against the annual plan 23-24, including some of the items that are carried over. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for that item? Councillor Wiley, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Beswick. Councillor Wiley, did you wish to speak to this?
Yes, I will. Thank you. I'd just like to say that it's a comprehensive report again. There's some things that are look like they're progressing quite well, and perhaps some that maybe not so much, but we have had a lot of work done in the last few months with resetting and making sure that we can achieve more of these goals in the quarterly report. So I think that sometimes it's a step backwards to move forwards, and I think that that's where we're at the moment.
Well said. Any other speakers? No, I presume you don't wish to close.
No, thank you.
Thank you. That being the case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against, the motion is carried. 10.3 is the Penguin Miniature Railway Management Committee dissolution. Doesn't mean that we're disillusioned. There's a resolution, a suggested resolution there for you on this item. Could I have somebody move the suggested resolution, please? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Seconded, Councillor Beswick. Councillor Smith, did you wish to speak to this?
Just basically that everything's been done in the correct manner. Everyone's been consulted. Everyone seems happy with our recommendation, and it's just may have just had its time just at the moment, and but the community and people that was involved in it are 100% behind us. So, and as we found out on our Thursday meeting at Penguin, just how appreciative they were, and we were thanked. So I think that says it all.
Indeed. Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Diprose.
Mayor, I just would like to acknowledge and thank the volunteers that have put their time into the Penguin Miniature Railway for all these years, and greatly appreciated by all. I know there'll be some people that are sad, but those that have been there should be extremely proud of what they contributed to the community over the years.
Indeed. Any other speakers? Councillor Hiskett.
Just to add that it's not without sadness that this motion's passed, I guess. But I think this is the correct solution to the current situation.
Yes, I would agree. As someone who served on the committee and managed the rosters and did the whole shebang for many years, and have lovely photos of my own children's birthday parties there over the years, it has been a lovely community asset, but such things are not without their challenges. So I feel, to Councillor Smith's point, that that the time has finished and the train has come to a halt. Councillor Smith, did you wish to close?
I just think
Oh,
everything.
sorry, my
Sorry.
apologies, Councillor Beswick.
Yeah, I was just going to acknowledge the comments that everybody else has made, and also that the equipment that's there is going to get repurposed with the other miniature railway in our municipality.
Yeah.
So so it's not all lost. So it's of the goodwill of the people. And as Morris said at the meeting on Thursday night, he's come up with some great solutions to the different infrastructures. So just that as well.
Indeed. Thank you. My apologies. Were there any other speakers before I go back to Councillor Smith? No. Councillor Smith, would you like to close?
I just would like to say again, thank you for everyone involved, and you never know what might happen in the future with some of that infrastructure. Might go somewhere else, and just, I don't think there's any more to say. Just a successful thing over the years and successful outcome that everyone is pleased with.
Thank you. Great. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10.4 is the common seal. You've been provided with a schedule of documents that the common seal has been affixed to. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item? Thank you, Councillor Beswick. Seconded, Councillor Wiley. Any discussion?
Don't think so, Mayor.
No, there being none, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10.5 is contracts and agreements. You've been provided with a copy of the schedule from the General Manager. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item? Thank you, Councillor Beswick. Seconded, Councillor Viney.
Just like Casey.
Oh,
Biscuit.
Hiskett.
I know we look pretty similar.
Councillor Hiskett for the record. Seconded, Councillor Viney for the records. My error. My apologies. Any discussion on this item? It's normally such an item of such controversy. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. Moving on to 10.6, correspondence addressed to the Mayor and councillors, and you have a new schedule provided there for you that has an addition to it. When you are ready, could I have somebody move that the suggested resolution be adopted? Thank you, councillor Diprose, seconded councillor Wiley. Any discussion?
I would just like to congratulate Leven River Cruises on being named a state finalist in the 2024 Telstra Best of Business Awards, and wish Kim all the best with that.
Indeed, no, that's a fabulous achievement for many years of hard work, and I think many of us have spoken to Kim at different functions over the last couple of months, and I said to the General Manager when we're on the other side of summer and she's got a bit more availability, I'd be keen for some of us to go on the cruise and share that with her. So thank you for pointing that out. Any other comments? No, in that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against, the motion is carried. That brings us to the next item, which is the late inclusion of a meeting item, Our Place, Our Future First Steps. You have been provided with a hard copy of the late inclusion agenda piece, as well as the attached document. So for the record, I'll read in full. I now move an item which was not included in the meeting agenda. The General Manager has prepared the following report, which I will now read aloud. The late inclusion of the item Our Place, Our Future First Steps for consideration at the 16th of October 2023 ordinary meeting of Council is in accordance with section 8(6) of the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulations of 2015. As this matter could not be included in the 16 October 2023 Council meeting agenda, as the final version of Our Place, Our Future First Steps was not provided to Council by the consultants until the 16th of October, 5 days after the agenda was released, and it is deemed that the matter is urgent. The late inclusion of a matter not on the agenda must be carried by an absolute majority of Council. There is a suggested resolution for consideration. You have been provided with the General Manager's report. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution, noting that the resolution is to be read aloud? Thank you, Councillor Hiskett, seconded by Councillor Wiley. Councillor Hiskett, would you read the resolution aloud?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to move that the council approve the late inclusion of the item Our Place, Our Future First Steps for consideration at the 16th of October ordinary council meeting.
Thank you. We had a second also, didn't we? Thank you so much, Councillor Wiley. Any discussion on this resolution, which has just been read aloud by Councillor Hiskett? Councillor Diprose. Remember that we are speaking to whether or not you're prepared to include it as a later agenda item. All future fabulous contributions can be made at a later stage.
I'll just say definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion on the resolution that is there in front of you at this point in time? No. In that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is declared unanimously. That takes us to the second part of that process. So the council may now consider the term plan, Our Future First Steps, for adoption. The finalised version of the plan, Our Place, Our Future First Steps, has been provided to councillors today, together with the General Manager's report presenting the plan. I note that this term plan will be appended to the General Manager's report and included in the minutes of this meeting. The report is there, and I will allow you all a few moments to read the background and discussions. Please give me a nod and indicate to me when you have finished reading the General Manager's report so that we can proceed. Fabulous. Thank you. So the suggested resolution there for you is that, the suggested resolution is provided there in the General Manager's report on the bottom of page 3. Would the councillor care to move the suggested resolution, noting that it too is to be read aloud?
Move that, Mayor.
Thank you, councillor Beswick, seconded by councillor Wiley. Councillor Beswick, sorry, I should ask you to read it aloud before I seek a second officer. Councillor Beswick, what is it that you're moving?
That the council adopt our place, our future first steps, a copy being appended to and forming part of these minutes.
Thank you. And seconded, councillor Wiley. You're still happy to do that. Thank you. Councillor Beswick, would you like to speak to your motion?
Thanks, Mayor. As is documented there in the report from our General Manager, Barry, over the last months since Barry started as his new role with us, we've come to the conclusion that we need to reset. And we all, as well as the leadership team under Barry, have worked through lots of different scenarios, lots of different options that we can do to be able to take our community forward. The document which we've got here, and we've got the camera up there for everybody to see, is the start of, and as it says, it's the first steps to the future of Central Coast. In the end, things are done one step at a time, and that's to me, as the way I see life, is that you don't rush things, you take the time and to get things right. So I commend the new document to the councillors and to the community, and I'd like to thank the staff and all the other councillors, and especially you, Mayor. You've done a lot of work on this as well, and we look forward to the reception from our community and the work that goes forward as we work through this new plan.
Thank you, councillor Beswick. Other speakers? Councillor Wiley.
Yes, thank you. I am very excited to see this hard work that's been happening over the last couple of months, really, to take place in such a comprehensive, inspiring document. I know there's been a lot of work that's been put into it by councillors, by the senior leadership team, by General Manager Omunson, by yourself, like Councillor Beswick has said, Mayor Fuller. And I just think that it is a really exciting time in the Central Coast with the plans that we have for the next 3.5 years in this, that are going to set some really good foundations for the future in the Central Coast. So it's very excited about that.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Diprose.
May I read our mission, please, Mayor?
You may read our mission. Please do.
Our mission in this document: we are committed to nurturing a safe, happy, healthy community through creating opportunities that enhance the livability of our region. Our council will continuously improve delivery of projects and services with accountability and pride. And I'm extremely proud to have this in front of us and be a part of this amazing group of people that have come up with this. A lot of heart and a lot of soul, and yeah, it's just great to see. I'm trying not to get emotional, but anyway. Yes, thank you to Barry and yourself for having the foresight to bring this forward for us.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Viney.
Yes, I see this as a very important document, and like we said before, it's the first step in the process. The map that is here and shows as it is isn't quite the way I remember things, but I think on such a minor thing, we'll let that one slide, and the importance of the document in its totality is what we're looking at. So,
thank you. Councillor Heskett.
Thank you. I'm glad Councillor Diprose chose the mission to read, because I was planning to read our vision.
Well coordinated on this.
I was so concerned when I saw her open to the same page.
What's the mission?
Council's vision, Tasmania's Central Coast, a natural tapestry with space to grow, which was collectively agreed upon with many iterations of wording. Our thinking behind a natural tapestry, there are so many different elements of our community that all come together in one space to form Tasmania Central Coast. We've got space to grow, which plays upon our hive and planetarium and growth within our region, which we envisage. So I think it is a nuanced vision, which certainly represents our community and our people. So thank you. And the rest of the document is, a live document as well with actions in it, achievable actions that I look forward to seeing the continuation of over the next 3.5 years.
Indeed, thank you. Councillor Lehmann.
I think it's important to point out that behind this document there were a lot of conversations and I guess bearing of souls to be able to be honest with where we were at as a community and where we wanted to be, and to remove ourselves from the equation and really think for what the community could be in the future. So it was a really good process, and I think it's made us closer as a team, the councillors and the senior leadership team and the organisation as a whole, and hopefully it'll enable the community to become closer as well, so we can have a really exciting future.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Smith.
Look, I just also endorse what's been said, and our 5 foundational pillars that we've put in the plan. As this document says, that it's a new strategic plan, but more importantly, provide a foundation for achievable actions and a benchmark for performance and process for the immediate term. And I'd just like to say what a wonderful job that General Manager, the staff and you have done, Mayor. I know you love this community, and a lot of work went into this, a lot of hard thought actions, and as well as us, of the work that we've put in. It's for the benefit of the community, and things are really going forward for us. And this was just a wonderful document, and I think the residents will be really appreciative of this, that we've got their backs with everything, and we're really going ahead to try to improve things for everyone. So I'd just like to acknowledge the hard work that has been done, and it's just a wonderful document, and just well done.
Any other speakers, or no? We're good. I suppose all I would add is that following on from some of your comments, my sincere thanks to General Manager Barry and his senior leadership team and their managers beneath them, who, as I think Councillor Lehmann indicated, took this opportunity to, and the ongoing work that we've got to do over the next couple of months as part of a budget reset, also took the opportunity to honestly examine what they could achieve, what was important to our community to achieve, and what our focus needed to be. And those of us around this table now have the responsibility for the implementation and to be held accountable for that. But it's certainly a lovely first step to reset what it is that we need to do to focus on our priorities. The General Manager and I will meet tomorrow with some media representatives to share that story and this document with themselves, so they will play their part in telling the rest of our community about that. Firstly, in the morning, however, is we are a barbecue in the early hours with our outdoor staff, and a gathering of our indoor staff, as we tend to refer to them as, don't we, tomorrow. So it's crucial for us that staff are kept abreast of what our intended actions will be. Then on Thursday this week, in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce, we'll host a community breakfast down at the pier to share it with our business and community leaders. And for anyone that might be listening to this on live stream, they should know that they can still RSVP to come to the breakfast if they give the office a call. So a number of ways to communicate that with our community and explain to them what it is and why it is. And then our attention turns very much to the how and to the implementation thereof. And as you've as we're aware, a resetting of budget and other activities to get us there. So thank you for your comments. Councillor Beswick, would you like to close?
There's not really much else to say, Mayor. I just concur with everybody's thoughts, about the vision and the mission. I've only been on council for this is coming up to my 5th year, but to have a term plan, I think is a good move forward to be able to have something to work towards over the term of the current set of councillors around this table. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. In that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. And we didn't have any questions for the General Manager. 6:36. Let's move on to Community Services 10.7 Development Applications Determinations. You've been provided with a schedule of the determinations that have already been made. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for that item? Thank you, Councillor Carpenter. Seconded, Councillor Viney. Any questions or discussion? No, there being none, I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10.8 is council acting as a planning authority. We understand that when we move into this section of the meeting, we are working under a different set of guidelines. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item?
So
Thank you,
moved, Mayor.
Councillor Wiley, seconded Councillor Beswick. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. We will move on to 10.9, which is the subdivision of 3 residential lots, lot design and reliance on the Landslip Hazard Code at 228A Preservation Drive and 7 Midway Lane, Sulphur Creek. And the application number is there. A full report and all the necessary attachments have been provided to you. When you're ready, would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Beswick. Seconded, Councillor Carpenter. Councillor Beswick, did you wish to speak to this?
Yes, Mayor. I'm happy to endorse the planner's recommendations that this be put up for approval. Reading through the documentation, the applicant has taken into consideration the issues of the site, and there's an engineering solution around what is a potential problem in landslip. The risk is minimal, and I'm happy to support the application as is read, and thanks for the thorough report from our staff.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Carpenter?
Much the same, Mayor. I think it's a good report, and it's good to see the applicant going to all levels to make sure it gets through appropriately. And if you look through the report, it looks like the landslip is a minimum or low risk, and yeah, I have no problem endorsing that on the Part 5 agreement on the conditions, so to make sure it goes from there and onwards into future generations
Indeed.
of sales.
Important. Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Viney?
Yes, I'd just like to say that I would support the motion and that the objections, etc., have been well dealt with by the planners, and I think they've done a good job in putting this together.
Thank you. Any other speakers? No. Councillor Beswick, did you wish to close?
It's all been said. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. That being the case, I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. And community services. We had one question for community services from Councillor Hiskett, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Through you. Just wondering if I could get an update on the current situation at the Haybridge football ground and the current status of the new building that's being built there, please.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director and Councillor Hiskett. We will move on then to, how about we go to public question time before we go to infrastructure services. So it being almost 6:40, General Manager, I believe you have some public questions that we've already received that you wish to respond to.
Madam Mayor, thank you very much. Councillors, on Friday the 6th of October, Ms Leslie Lyons submitted 2 questions to be asked tonight. Question number 1 is, the council has been aware since April 2021 there are concerns regarding any possible shared pathway, bicycle path, that might be constructed along Leith Road, Leith. And my public question to the council on 24th of January 2022 included, and I quote, when did the council consult with Leith residents regarding a fourth Leith shared pathway and budget? And the council's response included at the time, and I quote again, the design or route for a pathway linking Forth via Turners Beach or Leith has not been identified yet. This will be undertaken sometime in the future and will include discussions with the community, close quote. It has been discovered the Forth Community Representatives Committee meeting of the meeting held 3rd of February 2022 states, and I quote, coastal shared pathway, Turners Beach to Forth, very preliminary work, had identified 2 possible route options, close quote. How and when did the council advise Leith residents? Very preliminary work have identified 2 possible route options. And the answer, my response is, the council apologises for any confusion caused by the earlier responses and incorrect listing of a Forth to Leith pathway in the 21-22 capital budget. The very preliminary plan mentioned at the Forth Community Representatives meeting dated 3rd of February 2022 was referring to a concept plan from 2012. Council did not formally consult or advise Leith residents as the plan was an internal working document to be developed and to understand the potential costs for various pathway sections along the Central Coast area. As discussed at the Forth Community Representatives meeting, any possible pathway linked to Forth requires significant consultation and feasibility studies. Please be assured that if the project is progress, consultation with the community will occur. Second question asked by Ms. Leslie Lyons is as follows. The Forth Community Representatives Committee meeting, minutes I should say, of the meeting held on 3rd of February states 2022, coastal shared pathway, Turners Beach to Forth, very preliminary work identified 2 possible route options. What are these possible route options, and will council promptly provide me copies of document plans, etc., detailing, illustrating where possible route options, 2 route options? My response is the 2 route options are either via Forth Road or Leith Road, being the only 2 roadways leading into Forth from the coastal shared pathway route. The preliminary concept plan from 2012 will be forwarded to you following this meeting, noting it is not an approved plan and simply highlights Forth Road and Leith Road as possible routes with no detail of feasibility or any detailed design. Madam Mayor and councillors, on the Friday 13th of October, Mr. Greg Cahill submitted 1 question to be asked tonight, and the question is, does the council have any plans to have EV charging stations installed in Ulverston? And our response is, council has recently identified under one of its 5 core pillars of our term plan for 23-26, a focus on transport and connectivity, with one of several priorities for the next 3.5 years being an electric vehicle plan. The Mayor councillors have also received questions from Saturday the 14th of October from Miss Debbie Young, and she asked 2 questions. The first question is, would it be possible to have public toilets installed at the Penguin Lifesaving Club? We have recently shifted into the area and were disappointed when at the beach near the surf club with our grandchildren, there were no public toilets or change rooms available for use. The play area and picnic tables are great. I think it is the only surf club I've been to that doesn't have public facilities. Sorry to go on, but maybe upgrade the play area a bit also, add a basketball hoop somewhere maybe. Our response, as the Penguin Surf Lifesaving Club had originally undertaken a master planning process that included public facilities for which they were intending to seek state and Commonwealth funding. Council was committed to supporting their vision for the precinct and building. Over recent years, it became apparent that this process had stalled. With the opening of the shared pathway and pending obligations under state child safety and wellbeing framework, it is our intent in the coming year to work with the state government and others towards the design of appropriate facilities with community access. Without external funding support, these facilities will be considered within budget forecasts. In the interim, council is considering temporary amenities at this location, while the options for permanent solutions are investigated. Playground equipment is to be considered as part of the review of council's open space and recreation plan. And that's the questions I have and the answers. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the public gallery tonight? No pressure, just providing you the opportunity. Thank you so much for joining us. We will move on then to item 10.10 under infrastructure services, which is the tendering for resealing of urban and rural roads. And there is a suggested resolution there. You've been provided with all the necessary information. Could I have a councillor move that the suggested resolution be adopted? That would be councillor Hiskett, before I could even get to the end of the sentence. Do I have a seconder, please? Thank you, councillor Wiley. Councillor Hiskett, did you wish to speak to this item?
Yeah, it's an annual tender that goes out. Once again, good to see our local business, thank you, receiving this because of their due process and tendering. You know, it's a competitive tender. It has qualifications, but they have achieved that through not just price, but through their commitment to safety, getting the job done on time. It's just good to see that we've got that within our local region, which you know, certainly makes our roads some of the best. So thank you.
Indeed, thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Viney.
Yes, I'd just like to say the usual would be the contractors come in well and truly under budget. However, when you look in the small print actually states that the $452,000 difference will be utilised for the reseal preparation work out of council's work operations. So it's unfortunate that the difference doesn't actually go to the bottom line of the council for this year.
It is going on the roads, councillor, and that's exactly where we need it to go.
Yep.
Any other speakers? No. Councillor Hiskett, do you wish to close? No, nothing further. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. A question for infrastructure services from councillor Wiley.
Yes, thank you. Just on behalf of some constituents in the Turners Beach area in regards to the tennis courts, whether there were any future plans for resurfacing and line marking for both tennis and pickleball, but just free line marking in general.
Thank you, councillor Holman. I don't know the answer off the top of my head, so I'll take it on notice and I will get back to you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul. Moving on then to corporate services. Item 10.11 is the leasing of 46 Main Road, Penguin, and what a very beautiful property it is. And proposal there. Well, the confidential letter of proposal has been provided to you, but there's a report there that outlines the intention, the offer that we have, which is pleasing. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item?
So moved.
Thank you, councillor Carpenter. Seconded, councillor Diprose. Councillor Carpenter, did you wish to speak to that?
Yeah, I'll just quite quickly, Mayor. We've worked through this at a workshop, and I think it's confidential in nature, of course. But the pleasing thing is that both groups are prepared to work together, and it's part of a condition there too, also that they will work together. And it's making great use of that building. It's heritage. We don't want to see it in any other way, form, or whatever. So using the youth or the young ones at the day to go in there, we'll make sure that stays there for every day, I think. So that's a good outcome. Congratulations to the staff for getting it that way.
Yeah. Indeed. Any other speakers? Councillor Hiskett?
Yeah, just briefly noting on the heritage listing, and I wholeheartedly can agree with Councillor Carpenter's statements. It was one of the buildings that you mentioned to ensure was kept within that, but being the old station master's house, complementing the existing, well, the railway that's been replaced there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, a very important building, and I think this is one of the, you know, educating and keeping our youth occupied is a great use for it. So, thank you.
Indeed. Any other speakers? No, councillor Carpenter, anything to add?
No, thanks.
Thank you. In that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10.12 is the audited annual financial report for the year ending the 30th of June 2023. You have been provided with all of the information. I would like to just invite Director Sam Searle just to give us a point of clarification there, Sam.
Thank you, Mayor. The audited report for last financial year is presented to councillors with a recommendation that they receive the report. There is one small correction that I'd like to make in the report. On page 87, there's a statement to the effect that council has budgeted for a deficit over the last 5 years. And I just wanted to correct for the public record that council budgeted for a deficit in 2021, as did most councils at that time, due to the impacts of COVID-19. And that is 1 year that we did deliver results that were more favourable to the budget. But just overall on the results for last financial year, our results show an operating deficit of $102,000, which is relatively small to council's recurrent expenditure, less than 1%. But it does represent a continuation of operating deficits over the last 5 years for this council. And it does represent a fairly material variation to the budget set by council. So that signals the need to make sure that we know and understand the reasons for that. And also to ensure that we know and understand the impact of that on the current year budget. So the report highlights the need to have a look at the budget set for this year, have a little bit of a reset to ensure that we can return the organisation's operating position to a financially sustainable one. And that will be important as we move forward. It will enhance our financial decision making, and it will ensure that the organisation has the required capability it needs to be successful into the future, particularly in context of our new mission, which I note reads, our council will continuously improve service delivery of projects and services with accountability and pride. So hopefully the report will be seen as an indication that that's what we're doing as part of that, and we will seek to understand some of the reasons for those variations and ensure that they're corrected and reviewed.
Thank you. And our thanks to your team in particular for their work. Given that you've been provided with that correction to the text that appears in the agenda, could I have somebody move that the suggested resolution for this item? Councillor Viney, thank you. Seconded, Councillor Diprose. Councillor Viney, would you like to speak to the annual report?
Yes, we are receiving the audited annual reports, and that's what the motion is about. I think Sam may have in fact been reading my notes, or my mental notes anyway, that we are looking at an underlying deficit of $102,000 as compared with a budget of $656,000 surplus. There is quite a difference, but it isn't as bad as it looks, but it is a trend that we have to acknowledge and deal with, and therefore we'll be going into the new year with our eyes much more open in respect of that to fix that problem.
Thank you. Any other speakers? No, there's been none. So as we're aware, we have workshopped this topic quite extensively with a presentation from Sam and her team, and we will be continuing to talk to our community about what that means and the plan to rectify it. So it's a bit of a line in the sand moment for us indeed. Councillor Viney, I'm presuming that you don't want to close on what you just opened?
Correct.
Correct. Excellent. Thank you. That being the case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10.3 is statutory determinations. You've been provided with a copy of the determinations from September 2023. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for that item, please? Sorry, I apologise. 10.13. What did I say? 10.3. 10.3. Yeah, you've got to keep your eye on me.
No, I just lost.
10.13. Councillor Carpenter is at least going to move it, so that's pleasing. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Lehman. Any discussion on the schedule? No, everybody's happy now that the number is right. Great. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10.14 is the quarterly financial statements. And so that is statements to the 30th of September 2023. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Seconded, Councillor Viney. Councillor Smith, would you like to speak to this?
Basically, it is as it is, and we're fully aware of everything that's there, and that's all we can really say.
Yeah.
It's it's been workshopped, and yeah, it's as it is, and it's in control, so it's self-explanatory.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Viney.
Yes, we are receiving the financial statements for the first 3 months of the year. They always are, being the first quarter of the year, lopsided because most of the expenditure is pushed across the year, but our rates collection, of course, comes in that first 3 months period. So at the moment, the budget looks very, very well. Budget looks very, very good, but of course, over the year, that will decrease.
Exactly. Any other speakers? Thank you, Councillor Beswick.
Yeah, just to concur with my accountant friend here beside me, he's got the expert advice there. I wanted to try and say earlier, but I was too slow getting in. I'd just like to thank the staff for the work that they've done with the whole budgetary process and the reset, because it's a big job to be able to reset things. But yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge the staff, Sam and her team, and our general manager as well. No doubt he's part of that as well. But as Councillor Viney said, it's a good part of the year to be looking at some numbers. But the end of the year is the one where we're looking at, aren't we, Sam? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? No, there being none, I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. And there were no questions for corporate services. That brings us to the closure of the meeting. To members of the public, thank you for joining us. Please pass on our very best wishes to your son in his mayoral role. And anytime he's down, tell him to sing out for a cup of coffee. It's always great to chat to mayors from other areas. And thank you for joining us this evening as well. I'm presuming that you were satisfied with the outcome.
Very much so. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Welcome again anytime. All right.
See you then.
Take care.
Thanks for coming. See you, Anne.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Anne. Bye-bye.
Bye. Resolution there to close the meeting to the public to consider the matters listed in the agenda. Would a councillor care to move that resolution? Thank you, Councillor Beswick. Seconded, Councillor Wiley. Presume there's no discussion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried, and I declare that the meeting is now closed to the public at 6:58 p.m.